Good afternoon and welcome to the Longines Arena in the Al Shakab here in Doha, Qatar. We are starting a brand new show, a brand new season with so many brand new things. So we thought only it has to be right to make sure that we come up with new content, new formats and new ways to deliver our Global Champions League product to you here on GCTV. My name is Mark Lewis. Wonderful to be hiding under the umbrella, trying to stay away from the brutal desert heat of Doha, Qatar. Frederick de Backer is standing alongside me. This is nice that you came on the day that there was an umbrella.
So I saw you sitting here all day yesterday in the studio, being grilled in the sun. I thought if I have to go and sit there, I'm not keeping that up. My Belgian skin does not support, so the umbrella is absolutely brilliant.
You sat with Wi-Fi, with air conditioning, with
cold water,
sitting in the studio, laughing at me across the ring.
It's just because nobody sees that. Just minutes before the start of the studio, you sit here with a wet towel over your head.
And what's nice is the wet towel is around here, and I will bring it into play when required. No, the desert heat is a very, very different perspective, and I will tell you, being out here has been glorious, being ringside, being right next to the action, and that's one of the big major changes of the 2023 Global Champions League and actually the Longines Global Champions Tour season, is that we will now have the studio here on site for every single stage. Something that excites me because I've missed not actually being alongside you for every one of these events. It's the first time that I get to outside of Prague in the playoffs.
I don't know how to handle that because it feels cute and worrying at the same time that you've missed me, but I'll take the good part of it. I'll take it that you missed me.
I think so. From an experience point of view, it has been really cool to be here, to be alongside the riders, to be right on the action. It certainly has enriched my experience of being on the global tour. This, of course, is available for you, by the way, on GCTV, and we will make this into a podcast as well. It'll be available on our various podcast channels that will be made available to you. Spotify, of course. Let's talk about first event of the year.
Yeah.
How do you feel about getting to Doha, getting ready, getting the season underway? Great to be back at Al Shakab.
I really had to rest after Prague.
Yeah.
But then after Christmas and New Year, it was just way too long before the season started again. So really happy to be out.
And living in Belgium, I live in the Netherlands. Coming out to the warmth and the sunshine is
mine is too in Belgium. This is absolutely brilliant.
It was snowing in the Netherlands last week, so to come out here and hide in the shade is magical. Can we talk about moment of, we're going to say moment of the week, but it should be moment of the day now that the format change tells us that Global Champions League Round 1 and Round 2 is now being competed on the same day. So essentially our moment of the day, what for you was a crowning, defining moment? Because for me...
Yeah, but you're turning this around because I was going to ask you, when we did our rehearsal...
we don't rehearse,
yeah,
don't lie.
We were picking our moment of the week.
Yes.
And we picked the same one. So you made me pick another one. So you go first. What's your standout moment of this weekend?
Is that because my moment was so monumental that it would be the predictable pick, but my moment of the week had to be the round of Christian Kukuk in GCL, because everyone expects Philipp Weishaut and Kobe to be lightning quick. Everyone expects Christian Kukuk to ride the safe clear and let Kobe attack the clock. And what we saw yesterday in GCL Round 2 was an aggressive, attacking Christian Kukuk that dominated the clock, stopped it at a 68-something, which was an outrageous time yesterday.
Yeah, second fastest of all.
And almost reversed the roles and allowed Philipp Weishaut and Kobe to take it easy. And we'll talk about the Riesenbeck International victory yesterday, but for me, it was the mindset, the approach, the aggression and the confidence of Christian Kukuk yesterday.
And the horse is in good form. The horse won a class here last week in Al Shakab as well. I believe that was a jump-off class. It's not the biggest striding horse, or at least in my head, it's not the biggest striding horse. So you would not think that he can open up a stride and open up a canter like that in such a big ring. I mean, this is behind us 130 meters by 90, I believe. It's the third biggest ring of the season. And to come out like that, it was really, really impressive. That's why it was also my moment of the week, because it was and the win and the setup for the win of Riesenbeck International powered by Kingsland, but also just that individual performance from that stallion who really thrives here in Doha this weekend.
And to put into perspective as well, the fact that the last few events have seen Doha win on a clean sheet, it wasn't as if they had leeway to play with. If they were up by 4 or 8 penalties, you have the freedom to attack. He had to do that on a double clear, trying to stay clean as well. So for me, it was the bravery and the confidence and the style of attack from Christian Kuku. But if I've taken your moment, what now has a replacement moment for you?
Well, for me, we have to stay with Riesenbeck International. The fall of Ludger Beerbaum on day 1. Silly mistake. Horse jumps fence number 2. Has a stumble. Doesn't have the best landing. Shoots Ludger into the air. Lands next to his saddle and then on the ground on his hip. Apparently a leg fracture. You know, you come here knowing that Ludger Beerbaum has won here last year with Mila. That Riesenbeck International is still a very strong team, is the championship contenders. And all of a sudden it's such a blow to the team, because that fracture, that injury is going to keep him on the sidelines for, I'm not a doctor, am I saying 5, 6, 7 weeks? I don't know how much recovery time for the fracture. I don't know how long it takes you to, in Dutch we'd say revalideren, to come back and be supple again and be fit again, to have all your muscle strength back. Ludger isn't the youngest, I believe he's 59, so that's also plays into it. And it makes me think of last year. You know, finally they've got a fit team again, because last year they didn't use Philipp Schulze Tophoff.
He was injured twice in 2 different times. Yeah.
And now it's Ludger Beerbaum who's out with an injury. So that leading horse, Mila, is sidelined as well. And it brings, the Ludger injury is one thing, and the reaction from the team is another thing. That, but for Ludger Beerbaum and Mila to be out for so long with the season, luckily it happens now. Miami, Mexico is 5, 6 weeks away, so he can recover and maybe he will be back. We don't know anything about when he will be back. But if it happens in the middle of the season, that would be a massive blow. It's already a shock, but it's the best moment to get injured.
Yeah, and after going on to win GCL Stage 1 in Doha, Riesenbeck International, newly renamed to Riesenbeck International.